So I have this unique opportunity having both of these watches at the same time, thanks to Roy for sending these over. But I wanted to just point out when I handled them side by side, I was just like, wow, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, clearly they're different watches from different price points, from different brands, everything, different materials. But I'm like, well, I mean, maybe this could be a bit of a comparison video. The Seiko SPB143 versus the Tudor 39mm titanium Pelagos, or Peli. So let's run through the list, shall we? And actually, maybe I'll try my hand at editing, and I will post up the measurements on the screen. If they show up on the screen, that means I did this. If they didn't, that means I was lazy and I didn't. But anyway, they're roughly the same size. So width on the Seiko, I measure about 40.5. It's actually just under that, so it's just over 40. And then the Peli at the bezel is 40. The case is 39-ish, but the bezel is 40. So really close. Then the lug to lug, 47.3 on the Seiko, 47 on the Peli. Again, really close. Thickness, a little bit thicker on the Seiko at 14mm, but we have a flat sapphire crystal and a thinner movement on the Tudor, keeping it at 12mm. So 2mm thinner. That really makes a difference, both that and the weight. But we'll cover that in a second. The lug width, 20mm on the Seiko, 21 on the Tudor. But you do have, when you buy the Tudor Peli, you do have a rubber strap that will integrate into that. And it's not that hard to find 21mm straps if you are switching from the bracelet to straps. But the bracelets are amazing on both these, more so on the Tudor, so I don't know why you would. This one, the Seiko, tapers down to 18, tapers down to 16 on the Tudor, which also makes it even more comfortable. Okay, first off, the Tudor is clearly more comfortable. The size, the thickness, the weight, and the taper on the bracelet. However, the Seiko is still great. I'm a Seiko fanboy. I'm wearing a Seiko today. So Seikos belong on my wrist often. Crown size, 6.5mm screw down crown on the Seiko, 6.9mm on the Tudor, and the Tudor signed with the shield. Weight, these are both sized up for my wrist size right now. The Seiko, stainless steel, weighs at 169 grams. Tudor, 107. Movements. The Seiko uses a 6R35 in-house movement at 70-hour power reserve, and this one is performing flatline on my time grapher, meaning it's plus minus 0 seconds on my time grapher for this watch. I know there's going to be some varieties out there where people are having, not such accuracy out of their 6R35. The Peli has a COSC movement. It's technically in-house, MT5400, and it is also 70-hour power reserve, and this one's also performing flatline on my time grapher at plus minus 0 seconds. Now we get into the price points. And in case you didn't know, even luxury watches have flaws. That little speck right there, that's under the crystal. I wiped and wiped and wiped and wiped before I threw my spectacles on and took a closer look, and I'm like, hey, that's under the crystal. Not that one, that one. So it happens. Guys, it happens. It happens to all brands and way more than you think. But with that flat black dial, you definitely see it. Is it an easy fix? Yes. Should you have a competent watchmaker do that? Pop the case back off, verify water depth rating? Yes, absolutely. Could you do it yourself? Yeah, I don't think I would. Not with the Tudor. With a Seiko, maybe. And we'll talk about why. So retail price points. $1,200 on the SPB143. $4,700 on the Tudor. Pretty big difference in the price. Now, because I just sold these on a Sunday Funday sale, I have accurate used market sales. They might be a little bit low because I do sell aggressive, but I sold this Seiko for $625. That's a 48% loss if you would have paid full retail, which often you don't with Seiko. With the Tudor, when you walk into an authorized dealer, you might get a 5% discount, but oftentimes you're going to pay full retail. So now this one sold for $3,100. That's a 34% drop. So just using the numbers I have provided to me, because I don't know what these go for on discount, but I mean, I kind of do, but that would really skew the numbers differently. But that's a $575 loss on this guy. I mean, because we're nearly 50% off the retail, which you probably didn't pay in the first place. I can stomach, it would suck, I can stomach a $575 loss. The loss on the Tudor, if you would have bought it retail, is $1,600. Ouch, that's going to sting a bit. So if you're a flipper, definitely pick them up used or heavily discounted in whatever way you can. If you're a keeper and you're end user, then it kind of doesn't really matter. You could go discount, used, or you could buy retail, and it just doesn't really matter as much because you're going to keep the watch for a very long time, and they're both going to last a very long time. They're both great watches. Let me pop them on my wrist so you guys can see what those look like. If you have a similar size wrist, that might be valuable information for you. And yes, I know this is a weird comparison, but we're weird watch guys, and that happens. So here is the Seiko on wrist, and I gotta say, it wears great. It feels great. I have zero problem with this watch. And by first glance and by putting these on my wrist, forget about the price point. I'm actually more drawn to the Seiko. I know that's weird. Now, if this was a full-size Pelly, a 42 millimeter, I feel like it would work better. Which, this is a weird phenomenon to me because they're literally almost the exact same size. 47 lug to lug, 40 wide. But for some reason, and I think, and maybe it's the stainless steel or the way the bracelet end links come off the Seiko, I just feel like the Seiko works better on my wrist. Maybe it's just because it is extended because of these. It makes it feel like it's a little bit longer lug to lug. I don't know. What say you? I think this is a pretty fun comparison. Let me give these a quick blast with the UV light. Let's see how they both perform. And we do have full loomed bezel on the Tudor as well, which is pretty nice to have if you're gonna pay that much money. So beautiful lume out of both of them. The Pelly just bringing the heat with the lume. It's just way more potent. It's in more places, so it's just more fantastic when the lights go dim. Thanks for watching, guys, and again, big thanks to Roy for sending these over for me to check out, and the sellers allowing me to delay shipping a little bit before so I can get this video done. I'll see you on the next vid.